All right. So, hi, my name is Michael. I'm founder and CEO of Nozbe. And last week, on the 20th of May, I was celebrating my 41st birthday. And that's why I decided to celebrate it right now with you, with all my online friends, the birthday. And that's why the AMA Ask Me Anything session. So yeah, so I have a few questions here piled up, and if you have any questions, like post them below this video, and let me know what you want me to talk about. All right, let me switch to my questions. Okay, so as you know, as a founder of Nozbe, now we have two products: Nozbe Personal and Nozbe Teams, and this is one of the things. I started my 40s, like 41st birthday, and I have a new product. So to all of the people who think that at 40s you shouldn't start something new, well, tell me about it because I just started. So now we are a two-product company. We have both products, and today I'll talk a little bit more about the differences between these two products, but you will know more in my webinar. So I'm announcing that next Wednesday, I'll be hosting a webinar, an hour-long webinar. Where I'll be talking about behind the scenes of our internal communication here at Nozbe, how we communicate through tasks, how we get stuff done. So I'll show you real projects, real examples, and also I'll show you how we run meetings and how we run online meetings. And because our team is all remote, I'll show you, how we get this done and how we can, as a remote company, as an all remote company, be creative, how we can really create stuff and work on ideas, and how we meet, which tools we use, which apps we use, the nitty gritty. I'll try to pull back nothing, like to show you everything. And also there will be questions as well. So next week, next Wednesday, I'll be, it will be 1 o'clock Eastern time and 10 a.m. California Pacific time, and also 7 p.m. here Central European time. So make sure to join me next week. The link is below this video, nozbe.com/webinar. Very easy to remember. Just go there and sign up. Anyway, Nozbe Personal, Nozbe Teams, two apps. I started my 40s with a new app. Why? Because 13 years ago, when I started Nozbe, I launched Nozbe to solve my own problem. I wanted to get stuff done. I wanted to be more organized. I wanted to be, more reliable. And that's why, inspired by the book by David Allen, Getting Things Done, I created a tool. And it worked, and apparently it worked not only for me, because we have more than 500,000 users. So people like it, people love it, and people use it. But a few years ago, when we started offering Nozbe to businesses, to teams, we realized that the assumptions we've made with Nozbe are not very compatible with a tool for teams. And that's why we started working on Nozbe Teams, on a different tool. And that's why right now we have two products. So the main differences between these two products is the fact that when you create an account in Nozbe Personal and you create a project, it's yours. It's your personal project. And you can choose to share it with somebody, but until you do, they can't see that the project exists, and they can't see what's in the project. Compare that to Nozbe Teams. In Nozbe Teams, you create a team, and then you invite people to your team. And when you create a project, by default, it's shared within the team. So by default, it's a project that everyone on the team has access to. They can later choose to follow this project or not, but by default, it's shared. They have access to it. In Nozbe Teams Premium, you can also limit how much it's shared. Is it just for you or for some other people? But overall, it's projects in Nozbe Teams are shared. So this is like the biggest difference. So you create in Nozbe Personal, you create your own account and you create your own projects, and then you can choose to share them. In Nozbe Teams, you create a team and you create projects which are shared by default within the team. just there. So that's the biggest difference. Second difference is like for personal use, like if a task is due today, or if somebody delegates a task to you, it makes sense that it just pops right into your priority list. But in a team environment where you have many people, we have many projects, lots of things going on, when people delegate stuff to you, or there are things that you need to be reminded about, they shouldn't go to your priority list, because we want you to focus, to be focused on your work. And that's why we created this incoming view, so that everything goes to incoming, and then over there you decide what's your priority and what's not. So it's completely up to you. So that's that. And also in Nozbe Personal, when you have comments to tasks, the latest comment is on the top, because there are not so many comments, especially if you're using Nozbe only by yourself. You need a comment just as a note or a checklist for your task. But in Nozbe Teams, we had to reverse the order. Like the latest comment is at the bottom, just like in a Messenger or WhatsApp, like because there are much more comments in each task, because there are many people here. They're sharing many more projects, and they're sharing many more tasks, and that's why there are just many comments. So we had to invert that. So this is like these are the basic differences between Nozbe Personal and Nozbe Teams, and that's why we couldn't have just upgraded Nozbe Personal to be team better. Like we already did. Nozbe Personal is already good for teams, and the teams that are already using Nozbe Personal with success can keep doing that, because Nozbe Personal is great and it's very stable. It's got a long history and great mobile apps. And Nozbe Teams is a completely different thing. It's completely different, and it's just for teams who want to switch from communicating with email, communicating just verbally, to communicating through tasks, projects, and comments. And another question I'm getting is this: like, if this pandemic has changed a little bit of how people will work in the future. And there are a few aspects to it. First of all, working from home. I'm not sure. Like, I'm working from home. This is my home office. It has a very nice, white space here, but it's a very nice home office, and it's just me here. Like, there is nobody else from my company here, and I've been working like this for forever. So this is for me a normal standard. But for many people, like, they have been thrown to homes to work and to figure it out. And of course, many people are discouraged, and they are disillusioned, because it's hard, and they are not used to it. They are not set up. I mean, I've been iterating on my home office every year. I have changed, tweaked it. It's a different thing. But what I can say is that many more companies will be open to, not maybe fully remote, but at least occasionally working from home, occasional teleworking, occasional working from home, or maybe some of the team will be remote. Like, there are many aspects to it, and many other variants. And I think companies will be more open, because also people will realize that even though they were thrown in their homes and they had to deal with children who didn't go to school and all that stuff, I think they still managed to really to be pretty productive. And because, of course, when you think about it, like, the eight hours of being in the office, it's not really 8 hours of full productivity. So you don't need to work full 8 hours at home to have really much more productivity than you would in a normal office, where you would have more chit chat, more coffees, or maybe somebody goes for a smoke or whatever. Like, this doesn't happen at home. At home, you're very productive. And this is my experience with my team. My team is very productive, is getting stuff done at an amazing pace, even though everybody works from homes. So I think companies will be more receptive. They will have to be. But for me, the two major things will change. Companies will embrace digital first. And so they will, instead of piling documents in the office, they'll finally realize that we need scanners. We need to have everything digital. We cannot deal with paper and paper documents anymore, because then people don't have access to it when they are not in the office. So I think this change will be dramatic. and Nozbe here can help, because in Nozbe, when you have projects and you have tasks, you can comment also with attachments, and this way you can store many attachments, and they're stored in an encrypted way. So they're really safe, much safer than sending an email with an attachment, because this is not safe. So in Nozbe, attachments are encrypted, so they are very safe, and there we already have companies using Nozbe and Nozbe Teams as a way to deal with digital documents, to just order digital documents and to put them in order to get the hang of it. So that's one thing. So I think digital first, also mobile first. Like another thing that people are seeing, some apps work great on a computer, but then they really are not that good on a tablet or on an iPad, for example, or on an iPhone or Android phone. And this is unacceptable. Like in our company, one of our values is being mobile, and we want to make sure that our Nozbe personal apps and also our Nozbe Teams apps work great on iPhone, Android, and on a tablet. As you know, the people who know me, I'm working mostly on my iPad. So I want to make sure that all the apps that we use for video conferencing, for documents, for like any apps, and of course Nozbe and Nozbe Teams have to work great on my iPad. So this is like the most important thing for me, because like this is my main computer. So that's that. So digital, companies will be much more digital, I think, will be much more mobile. They'll realize that an iPhone is a computer, that an Android phone is a computer, and it can do lots of stuff. So like when you compare Nozbe Teams, for example, or Nozbe Personal with our competitors, like with other apps, like their mobile apps very often are really like not fully fledged. You cannot, like, there are many things you cannot do on the mobile phone because it's a companion app to the true fully blown web app or desktop app. And this is not the case with Nozbe. Both of our Nozbe apps are like fully functional. You can do everything. And just today, when I was browsing history of some of our old Nozbe Teams projects, I was just blown away that on my iPhone I could just go to some of the ended projects, find an old project that was ended like many months ago, tap on it, see all the tasks that were there, tap on it, and then see all the old comments. So this way, Nozbe Teams becomes to us like a knowledge base, because like nothing is forgotten, nothing is gone. Like things, even in projects that were ended months ago, are still there, and you can still tap on the on the comments that were there. So this is really important. And so digital, mobile. And also, I think people realized that you can run things differently. You can you will have to write more, because like just speaking to people is no longer so obvious, because not everyone's in the office at the same time, especially now. But later it might be then the case. Then you have to write things down. You have to write down what you want them to do. You have to write down like this comment to a task, because otherwise they don't know what they what you want them to do. So all that writing down will also be increasingly important. That's why I hope finally people will learn to touch type, and more of that. That's why, for example, right now I'm writing my new book, No Office, and finally this summer it's going to be out, and it's going to be free for people to read on the internet. So I'm really committed to it. So anyway, I'll explain more about all that in my webinar. So my webinar will be mostly about the new way of working through tasks, working through actionable items, and commenting, and this back and forth. This is what we do. This is how we do things. So my webinar will be about that, and about the new way of running meetings, how you run a meeting, how not to waste time just having just too many meetings, and not thinking how many people I can cram into a Zoom call. So it's going to be all about that. So make sure to sign up at nozbe.com/webinar. It's a free webinar, but the seats are limited. So make sure to sign up quickly, and I'll see you live there next week. And then I'll have more time to just dive deeper into this and explain more, and really pull up the curtain and just show you how we get stuff done, and what we've learned from other companies. I mean, which tools we use, all that stuff, like all the nuts and bolts is going to be all there. So nozbe.com/webinar. Make sure to sign up and to check it out. So yeah, so I think I'm not sure about working from home. How many companies will let working from home? How many but many more will embrace the digital lifestyle, the mobile lifestyle, and will have to write more instead of speaking more. Anyway, Brian says hi, and Brian, thanks for your questions. Brian wants to know again what's happening with Nozbe Personal, Nozbe 3, as he calls it, and Nozbe Teams. So one of the things that we had to, one of the decisions we had to do, and it was a tough decision to realize, okay, Nozbe Personal has still some features missing, but it's a very stable product. So we had to just, we are a small company, so we had to pull our resources completely to Nozbe Teams to be able to finally ship it, because we were in this kind of hard state that our Nozbe Teams app was already pretty good. We were using it already, but we were not ready to ship it. So we really had to just completely not work on Nozbe Personal to make sure that we can just finish Nozbe Teams and ship it. And especially in this pandemic, we wanted to ship it as soon as possible, and that's why we only now let people buy Nozbe Teams, and we already have first customers, so it's fantastic. But until now, you couldn't even buy Nozbe Teams Premium. So now it's already available, and people are buying, which is great. But that's why Nozbe Personal was kind of, not being developed. We just thought, it's stable enough, it's good enough, it's a very good product. It's been developed for so many years. So we had to stop on that. But there will be updates. There will be a plan. So like in the coming months, right now we are just getting out of this hectic development to just make sure that we ship it, that we ship Nozbe Teams, that we ship payments for Nozbe Teams, all that stuff. So now we'll have some breathing room here over the summer to just to give you more updates, to start with some features and all of that. One of the features that I can already pre-announce that we are working on for both Nozbe Teams and Nozbe Personal is two-factor authentication, that we want to make sure that, again, security is very important right now, especially when people are working from homes. So we will be working on two-factor authentication for both Nozbe Personal and Nozbe Teams, because right now, even in our company, whenever we sign up for a service, we always use two-factor authentication. So we want to have that also for our Nozbe products. So this is coming pretty soon. So this will be the first, first feature, first visible feature in Nozbe Personal that you will see. So that's that. So yeah. So another question here from Brenham: do you actually think all people can work remotely or will work remotely? So again, I'm not sure. According to me, every knowledge worker could work remotely, because if you work with your brain, you work on your computer, it doesn't make any sense for you to sit in a car, sit in a traffic jam, and go to the city center of your city and work to sit in front of your computer. For me, it doesn't make any sense. And for me, I don't like the fact that so many cities are so big. I think there are so many nice small cities that could, have knowledge workers, intelligent people working there. And I can see that in my company. In my company, one of the things I'm really proud of is the fact that people are moving away from big cities. Here, Kuba, who's organizing this, our social media guy, he's organizing this live. He moved away from from Warsaw. He lives right now on the outskirts of Warsaw because he has a nicer place, nicer home, and better quality of life. And there are so many people who have moved, who, thanks to the fact of working remotely, they can choose to live in a different place, in the place they always wanted to live. And I've got countless examples of that. So hopefully the working from home will not get a bad rap because people were forced to do it, but people will realize, hey, I can get stuff done, I can be productive, and then I can work I can work from here, so I can like live where I really wanted to live all along. So for me, this is kind of a different paradigm, you know, when you don't move because of your work, you move because work is the constant thing in your life. And I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping for this paradigm to be true to more people. And you can see that from like big companies like Twitter, who's Shopify, they want to be all remote, and then other companies like even Facebook and Box, they are like trying to be remote, like enabling remote work much more than they used to. So uh, uh, I think it's great, so I'm hoping it's going to be better. And another question that you asked me, which I really like, is, do you look forward to hearing from younger guys and girls like me who hope to follow your footsteps, and does that inspire you? Of course it does. One of the things that Brian, one of the things that I love about me being 41 is that I am so excited about everything that I do. Like think about it, like both Nozbe Personal and Nozbe Teams are products that make people and teams awesome. I'm working on something that makes other people and teams awesome, that helps them achieve their goals, their dreams, getting their stuff done. I'm privileged to be working on a tool like this, on something that enables that, and that's why I'm so excited. That's why at 41 we're launching the second product for us. That's why at 41 I'm not stopping, and that's why whenever I have an option to either work on some CEO administrative tasks or product tasks, I prefer to work on product because it just gets me excited. And also, like in the webinar which I mentioned, nozbe.com/webinar next week, I'll explain how we work on features. So if you're curious how we are, figuring out which features to ship in Nozbe and Nozbe Teams, how we work on that, how we do meetings, make sure to check it out to sign up for our webinar, because I will explain the whole thing, show you the whole thing, how we work on this. So yeah, this inspires me. I mean, having younger people following me and following my footsteps, it's amazing. Like, that's why I'm also doing this webinar next week. It's a free webinar. Anyone can sign up, and I'm really taking it seriously. It's not like today I did some preparation for this. I had some questions, so I was figuring some answers. But for webinar, I'm preparing the whole 2 weeks to make sure that I can deliver the best webinar I can, to really give you as much meat, as much, share as much as I can. And also after the webinar, there is a Q&A segment, so you can ask me questions there as well. So I'm hoping to really like pull up the curtain, and really show everything that we've got. So yeah, it does inspire me. And that's why I'm so happy. And that's why we all need to really still, practice social distancing and just make sure that we stay safe and stay healthy, because really, it's a tough world right now. But on the other hand, I feel I have so much more to look forward to. So that's why I love it. So yeah, so that's it for today, for today's live. Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here with me. And really thanks for your birthday wishes. They meant so much to me. And I was really happy to be receiving them. And yeah, and I'm looking forward to, next year's of Nozbe and Nozbe Teams, and of helping people and teams be awesome. Take care. Thank you.